I'm the wasp. I'm the wasp. I'm so much worse than regular bees. I'll sting you, and I'll sting you. I'll sting everybody because I'm a shitty bee. I'm the wasp. Pachow! I'm the wasp.
Ooh, it's very hot in there. Hi everyone, my name is Tamara Chambers, and this is Tamara Just Saw. And last night I went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, or as it should have been named, The Wasp. I went and saw this with Doug, Rob, Barney, Walker, and another family member of theirs. It was so much fun. I love seeing films with friends and people that I know. I usually end up seeing the Tamara Just Saw movies alone, which is also enjoyable in its own right, but it's great to see it with friends. I had a really good time watching this film. I loved the comedy in it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid movie that had some problems, but overall, I really liked it. Though I do think it might be a little polarizing to the fan base. I've heard some negative opinions on it that I did not think about at all while watching it. I loved it. Right off the bat, I have to say that I loved the Wasp. I thought that her character was great. It was the first female superhero in the Marvel universe to have like her name in the title. It was great. She was badass, she was well portrayed, and I thought that her character was just really well done. And then in that, I think Ant-Man lost a bit of what made him special in the first. I really enjoyed his ability to think on his feet, his ability to use technology, and like, he was like really like active, and he was like Ant-Man before he even got the suit. He's like a very cool character. He kind of lost that a tiny bit in this film. He was, I mean, more off just like a comedic side character, which was a bummer, but definitely didn't take too much away from the film for me, obviously, because I still really enjoyed it, and I was really personally looking forward to The Wasp, obviously. The cast in this is incredible. Paul Rudd continuously makes me fall in love with him every time I see him in something. I don't know why, in the back of my mind, I'm always just like, he's okay, he's fine. But then I see him and stuff, and I'm like, wait, no, just Tamara, stop. He's so great. I loved him in this, and I'm such a sucker for, you know, chick flicks. I'm such a sucker for romantic comedies, and this was not a romantic comedy. It was hilarious throughout most of it, and it also had some romantic aspects to it, but it was the perfect amount. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't centralized around their romance, but I really loved the moments with them, and they were great. The chemistry between the two actors were really lovely. The comedy itself in the film was so good. I know that the comedy in Marvel films are kind of burning certain people out. Oh my god, somebody on Twitter recently said that I was a casual fake fan because I liked comedy in my superhero films, which is wrong. But also, I understand that Marvel films have gotten progressively funnier and funnier and funnier, and that's not true for a lot of them. Like, you know, Black Panther wasn't like this Thor Ragnarok, and this was a funny movie. It felt lighter comedy. Wise, it wasn't like the quirkiness of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it wasn't like the in-your-face comedy that Thor Ragnarok was. It was like a light, fun comedy, and it worked really well with the characters. I think the only character that I wish was developed a bit more is the villain of the film. I don't even know that I would call her a villain. I really enjoyed her character. She's definitely not a typical villain. She's more like a Killmonger level of villain in this, where you're like, well, I understand where you're coming from, girl, but she's still like technically the villain. I thought she was awesome. I also know a lot of people aren't gonna really love her, but I really did. I thought her backstory was really cool. I wish though that her adult story and her current story was a little bit more built up. Her acting was just so good and so believable. And even though I'm like, I don't know you that well, like you're not that well developed, I still super believe what you're telling me here. I also thought it was hilarious because she's like this this being that her atoms aren't like fully formed, so she's like sifts through walls, and like she's always in pain, and like she's always like going like from solid to not solid form, but like her hair is ombre. And I think that's hilarious that like she took the time to like dye half of her hair blonde. And like, listen, I feel that. That's what I'm all about. I'm in constant tragedy and my hair is half blue. So, all right. I will say that by far, this is my favorite Stan Lee cameo. By far. It's so funny. The entire theater erupted. So the last movie, Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, he was put on house arrest, and he is in his final few weeks of house arrest. He's really looking forward to not being on house arrest anymore. You have Hank Pym and Hope Pym, and they are both under the assumption that her mother, his wife, is still alive in the quantum realm. And so the story is about trying to get her back while Ant-Man is trying not to get caught while helping them, while the villain Ghost is here trying to fix her ghostiness. And then there's also kind of an unneeded side story where there's like this other weird villain who is pretty worthless in the film. I didn't find him funny or like engaging in any way. That's where Ant-Man's like security detail team comes in, and they brought a lot of comedy to it as well. Everyone was so funny. I've been avoiding it because I'm scared because I don't know how to say her name. Evangeline, yeah? Is that how you say her name? Evangeline Lilly? Loved you in Lost, girl. I really loved her as this role. She's like hard enough where she's such a badass. She's fantastic in the more vulnerable moments, and I had a really fun time watching her as well. Some of the comedy was just so effortless. Like in the beginning, he's still on house arrest, so he's there, he's reading, well, I'll show you. He's reading The Fault in Our Stars and weeping, and it's hilarious. A huge eruption from the audience, just really fun. I recommend this book. This one is signed. It's not for sale. He learns magic. It's delightful and fun, and I know that it's gonna be a nice kind of moment for people who we all got done with Infinity War, and it was heavy. And this was not in any way heavy at all. Everything is pretty nicely resolved. To the point where at the end, there is a moment that's resolved, and it's like, well, that was extremely convenient. And I wish it wouldn't have been as convenient as it was for you, because my, wow, did that all just fit into place or what? Okay. I wrote down in my notes, I was like, the comedy is perfect. It's not Thor Ragnarok levels of comedy, which I really enjoyed, but I know a lot of people thought it was too much. But it's also not like Thor 2 levels of comedy. It's like 0. I've actually never seen Thor 2. It's the only Marvel film I've not seen. I've seen clips. Don't make me. I don't want to. I wrote down that I truly cared about everyone. I had such a good time watching the comedy in this. I had such a good time. It was such a good theater experience. I loved it. I loved the lightness of it. I don't think every superhero movie needs to be, this life or death. It was nice to have something light. Though, maybe that's because I'm coming off of Infinity War. So, if I see it in 5 years, am I gonna think the same thing? I want to say I will, because I really enjoyed it. I feel like any lighthearted, nice, good content that I can get these days, I'm just grasping it up. I'm grabbing it and I'm taking it and I'm running with it. So that's what I feel about this one. I made a video on my personal channel on how I put this awesome foam Wasp helmet together, so check that out if you're interested. I can't wait to see you all next week. Hotel Transylvania 3, right? Oh my god. Is that all that's coming out next week? Oh god. Alright, bye!
I'll see you next week. Or will I?
Oh god, I can't breathe.